Superhero films have become one of Hollywood's most recognizable categories, defined by their flashy action, larger-than-life villains, and origin stories that introduce audiences to costumed protectors of justice. Classic examples, like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy, lean fully into the comic book spirit, embracing the colorful and often fantastical elements of the genre. Yet not every adaptation follows this formula. Some comic-based films step so far into other genres that they hardly feel like superhero movies at all. What makes these projects stand out is how they borrow comic book characters and settings but wrap them in completely different storytelling traditions. One of the clearest examples is The Crow, 1994. Starring Brandon Lee in his final role, the film follows Eric Draven, a musician resurrected to avenge his own murder and that of his fiancée. Though its origins lie in James O'Barr's comic, the movie plays far more like a supernatural revenge tale than a traditional superhero outing. With its gothic style, moody atmosphere, and tragic love story, it's remembered less for heroics and more for its dark, poetic edge, securing its place as a cult classic. Another standout is Blade, 1998, where Wesley Snipes brings Marvel's half-human, half-vampire hunter to life. While Blade exists in the Marvel canon, the film itself is essentially an R-rated action horror story, with relentless fight sequences, blood-soaked visuals, and a tone closer to vampire thrillers like From Dusk Till Dawn than typical superhero fare. Blade carved its own bloody niche and proved that comic book adaptations didn't have to play by mainstream rules. M. Night Shyamalan's Unbreakable, 2000, took an entirely different approach, stripping away the spectacle to deliver a slow-burn psychological thriller. Bruce Willis stars as David Dunn, a man who survives a deadly train accident, only to discover he may possess extraordinary abilities. Rather than leaning on comic book tropes, Shyamalan crafted a somber character study that deconstructed superhero myths before the genre exploded into the cultural juggernaut it is today. Its quiet intensity and thought-provoking themes make it feel more like a philosophical drama than a caped adventure. Then there's Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight, 2008, widely regarded as one of the best films of its era. Although it features Batman and the Joker, Nolan's vision is less superhero spectacle and more crime epic. With its gritty realism, moral ambiguity, and a performance from Heath Ledger that cemented the Joker as one of cinema's most haunting villains, the movie feels closer to a modern-day crime saga than a comic book adaptation. Its legacy rests on the fact that it transcended its genre while reshaping it at the same time. Finally, James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy, 2014, defied expectations within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Featuring a group of obscure comic book characters, the film leaned into irreverent humor and sci-fi adventure, feeling more like a quirky space opera than a superhero tale. The unlikely team of misfits became fan favorites, proving that Marvel's formula could stretch far beyond earthbound stories of traditional heroes. These 5 films highlight how versatile superhero adaptations can be when they step outside familiar boundaries. By fully embracing elements of horror, revenge, crime, psychology, or comedy, they prove that comic book stories aren't tied to a single mold. They can thrive in just about any genre.